the feints, the foot movement, the way he lands shots. He fights like a boxer. He doesn't fight like a guy who's trying to box in a celebrity boxing match.
That's sinking.
Jake
That's
Paul,
boxing right
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Joe Rogan has made a bold prediction about the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. He believes Jake's size and weight could be too much for Tank to handle and might even end his career. Rogan said that while Tank is one of the most powerful punchers in boxing, he's just too small to deal with Jake's strength, reach, and physical power.
My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love
That
everybody.
had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just like,
but
doesn't bother me.
there's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
If I bet on it,
watching
bothers the fuck out of me.
watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia. So it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you
parasocial
in.
thing.
They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in.
Rogan admitted that Jake Paul has really improved as a boxer. He said if Jake wasn't known as a YouTuber, people would see his progress as impressive because he fights smart and knows what he's doing in the ring. However, Rogan also warned that facing Gervonta Davis is very dangerous. He explained that Tank is on a whole different level when it comes to skill and knockout power, and if Jake takes this fight lightly, things could go very wrong for him.
Think of this Jake Paul fella.
I always say that if Jake Paul was not a YouTube star, people just looked at him like an up-and-coming boxer, you would say this kid's got a lot of fucking talent. He's dangerous. I think his strength is that they underestimate him because of what his background was. And they think there's no way that some guy who became famous off of YouTube is going to be an actual legit boxer. If you look at what he's done, he's a very good boxer.
Jake Paul confidently said, "I would destroy him in the ring because of my size." Even though he showed respect for Gervonta Davis's skill and patriotism, his words caused a strong reaction online. Many critics said his comment made the fight sound more like bragging than real competition. With Jake weighing around 200 pounds as a cruiserweight and Davis fighting at lightweight, the huge size difference has fans worried that this fight might not just be uneven. It could be unsafe and more about show than sport.
I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down.
I don't know if Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
For Tank, there's no way that this goes well for Tank Davis. Because if he wins, they go, oh yeah, world champion. Of course you were supposed to beat that YouTuber. If he struggles but wins, they go, ooh, Tank is washed. He struggled against Jake Paul. He still won, but he had a hard time. And then, of course, if he loses to Jake Paul, and him and boxing lose their credibility.
Rogan's comments came as new details about the fight were announced. The match is set for November 14th, 2025, at the Kaseya Center in Miami, and will be a 10-round exhibition streamed on Netflix. The fighters will compete at a catch weight of 195 pounds, much higher than Davis's usual 135-pound lightweight class and above Paul's recent cruiserweight fights.
Point still stands where it stands. Jake Paul wins this fight. I already bet Gervonta Davis in the DMs. We locked the bet. Guys, it's obvious Jake wins this fight. If you guys know anything about fighting, you know about weight classes. You know that Jake's been training for actual years. He's been locked in.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight. And now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this. But Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
Besides Rogan, Many boxing experts and analysts have shared their opinions, showing worry, caution, and in some cases doubt about whether the fight is safe or fair.
Oh, Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Chilaquiles, chilaquiles.
Musty energy, musty energy, musty energy, musty energy.
Oh, it's musty, and I say that respectfully. Per Mike Hoppinger in the Ring magazine, Gervonta Tank Davis, freshly off his domestic violence charges being dropped, will get into the ring with Jake Paul in Atlanta with a proposed date of November 15th. Lord child. Get your hand out of my pocket! Tank weighs about 135. Jake Paul weighs about 200-something pounds. So obviously this will be at a catch weight, and this possibly will not be a sanctioned fight where it will count on anybody's records. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Tank fans, you niggas down bad.
The hatred. Musty energy.
You niggas is down bad. Tank basically on the back half of his career, according to my brother Nestor Gibbs from the Boxing Voice. This man, Gervonta Tank Davis, said, I am not fighting no Shakur Stevenson. The man said, I'm not even going to rematch Lamont Sanat. The man just said, I'm not even thinking about fighting Dev Dollars, Devin the Dream, Debo Haney. I am going directly into Jake Paul. I've been told you that Tank was the black Jake Paul. Tank been the black Jake Paul. Man ain't care about legacy. Man ain't care about none of that, bro. Tank fans, you niggas down bad. Protect your fighter. It is musty at the highest level. And poor Lamont Sanat, it might be over for Lamont Sanat. He got to fight somebody. You might need to fight Gary Russell Jr. right now. Tank Davis, Lord Child, Jake Paul, boxing down bad. This about to make a lot of money. The only plus in this is that Alicia Baumgardner, aka Bomb Amy, might be on this card. I would love to see Alicia Baumgardner back on Netflix. That is a plus, and my man Lucas Body might get on there as well, and Avius Griffin. So it might be a movie as far as the undercard. Tank Davis, you down bad, bro. Boxing is absolutely disgusting and musty at the highest level. Get it together. Tank is a 30-plus-year-old prospect at the back end of his career. He on his Mayweather McGregor at the age of 30. Lord child.
Davis's head trainer, Calvin Ford, admitted the fight is risky because of the size difference, but said, "We signed the contract. We're going to make it work." He focused on the glove size, not the weight gap. The teams are deciding whether to use lighter or heavier gloves, and Ford suggested that since Davis usually fights with 8-ounce gloves, Paul could wear 10 ounces, while Davis keeps 8 ounces to make it fairer.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s. So he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You get what I'm saying? And we'll go from there because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers. They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition. What's the matter? What, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight.
Ford said that initially the team planned a rematch with Lamont Roach Jr., which made sense for sport, but when the chance to fight Jake Paul came, they felt it was a big opportunity. The Paul fight offered more exposure and money, and Ford said Davis has earned chances like this, so sometimes a fighter has to take the bigger opportunity even if it's not the easiest path. The fight faced regulatory problems too. The Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission refused to approve it in Atlanta because of the huge weight difference. Chairman Rick Thompson called it the dumbest idea he'd ever heard and said it seemed like just a money grab. When Paul's team asked for a weight class waiver, the commission still refused, worried the mismatch was unsafe. Because of this, the fight was moved to Miami.
USA Today, the chairman of the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, the commission that is going to be voting whether or not to approve Tank Davis and Jake Paul. His name is Rick Thompson. He has some very choice words for Jake and Tank fight. He says it's the dumbest ish he's ever heard. It's a money grabber, and he's not okay with that. And he doesn't like the arrogance of Tank Davis and Jake Paul announcing their fight, marketing their fight, having press conferences and shit before the commission can vote whether or not they're going to approve the fight. He calls it arrogance. Their concerns, obviously, the weight discrepancy between the two. In the state of Georgia, two competitors cannot outweigh each other by more than 9 pounds. Tank and Jake Paul's team have already submitted a rule waiver request to get that rule waived. And Rick Thompson also said in this article that he is expecting the committee to put it to a vote as to whether or not they're going to approve this fight on September the 18th when they're meeting again. Also, we got some insight that USA Today tried to reach out to other members of the committee, and all of them declined to comment on what's going on. But what I do know is that the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, it's a 5-person panel that's going to be voting on this Tank Davis, Jake Paul shit.
Former world champion Amir Khan also spoke out, calling the fight disgusting and warning that mismatched exhibition bouts like this could cause real injuries and hurt the sport's reputation. He said weight classes and proper rules exist for a reason, and argued that by taking this fight instead of facing a top-level boxer, Davis risks making boxing look like a joke. Khan acknowledged Davis is a great fighter, but said the big size and weight difference makes the fight unsafe and harms the sport's integrity. His main point? A serious champion shouldn't take a fight like this.
There's a few boxers out there who are frowning at Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis fighting in an exhibition bout. You know, they can frown, but one fighter has been more vocal than the rest, and that's Amir Khan. The thing with Amir Khan, you know he's always been about his Wu-Tang cream, dollar bill, y'all. Now he's mad because Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul figured out a way to rob the bank, like Mayweather and Conor McGregor did. Amir Khan out here talking about, you know, someone's gonna get hurt. This needs to stop. That's why people respect MMA so much. You don't see these fools trying to go over to MMA and do what they do in boxing. There needs to be some kind of control. He pulled a Eubank Senior on us. Parliamentary procedure. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, if Amir Khan had an opportunity to fight Jake Paul, all it is, hey guys, let's do the right thing and stop this social media nonsense. All fighters should stick to fighting, whether boxing or MMA. We shouldn't be crossing over, doing this misfit shit, fighting YouTubers or fighting Jake Paul.
On this fight,
a really bad mismatch. And you know what? Whoever the promoter is and that's agreed Gervonta to fight, and whoever the promoter is to fight for Jake Paul to say fight this little man. I mean, that's wrong, man. I mean, that's just like torturing someone. I mean, going in there and hurting someone is just not fair on Davis. But like, say you don't know what position Davis is in. I heard that he's been having a lot of legal problems and been arrested a couple of times for a couple of felonies and stuff I've seen with his ex-wife and stuff. So you know what? You don't know what's going through his head. Maybe he just wants to cash up and walk away from the sport. And maybe this is a great opportunity for him where he's seen this fight come up and he's like, fuck it, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they're making boxing a joke, really. Yeah. One day someone's going to end up getting hurt so badly that then it's going to definitely destroy the sport.
Shakur Stevenson criticized the planned fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul, saying it's a terrible idea because of the huge size difference. He believes Davis should go for a real boxing challenge instead of an exhibition that hurts the sport's reputation. Stevenson suggested Davis could earn more and gain respect by facing a top-level fighter in a true unification bout, framing the Paul fight as more about money than real competition.
Yeah, I on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that, and he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money. But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Yeah.
KSI criticized Jake Paul for his fight with Gervonta Davis, calling it a disgrace to boxing. He said he is disappointed with Paul's choice of opponents and suggested that Paul is avoiding a real fight with him, choosing easier challenges instead. KSI's comments show his frustration with Paul and his desire for a legitimate matchup between them.
I mean, look, with Jake, the guy's been ducking me or running away from me for so long, man. Like, he's just making excuse after excuse. And now he wants to fight Tank. I mean, it just says the type of guy Jake Paul is. He only fights someone if he has a major advantage. Anything that's close, or anything that could actually be a decent fight, he runs away from it. So
Teofimo Lopez said the Paul versus Davis fight is less about titles or pride and more about spectacle and money. He explained there's no shame in that since both fighters will earn big paydays and get mainstream attention. Even if it's not a championship fight, Lopez believes it still helps boxing by attracting new fans, creating buzz, and showing how popular the sport can be when personalities, drama, and showmanship are involved.
For Gervonta and Jake, I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know.
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
Got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this gonna work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction? A show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know.
Even though Joe Rogan has warned about the big size difference between Paul and Davis, he also stressed that Tank's talent should not be underestimated. On his podcast, Rogan praised Davis as one of the most explosive punchers with great timing, precision, and ring IQ. He warned Jake Paul and his team that size alone won't guarantee a win, as Davis has knockout power that can change a fight instantly. Rogan said that while Jake has physical advantages, Tank's skill and experience make him very dangerous and not to be taken lightly.
Gervonta Davis is like that. Their technique's so dialed in that when you watch them uncork, it's like, oh my God, the efficiency of it. A giant fan of the guy. I just loved as a person who like really enjoyed technique. I like watching someone who's exceptional at it. I always admired guys who were able to find like the shortest path connecting with a shot. Where it's just like the technique is so dialed in.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys that...
Do you agree with Joe Rogan, or do you think Tank will prove the doubters wrong once again? Share your predictions in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.